Heartbreak this morning for the South American Gabriel Gomez, who was out of race 2 before we even got underway with alternator failure. But the boy from Florianopolis, south of Sao Paulo, gets his chance at redemption. He starts on pole position for the third race of the weekend. Good afternoon. Welcome back to Misano Circuito Marco Simoncelli, I should say, here on Italy's Adriatic coast for the third of 5 races here this weekend. Ken Nakamura is already the champion. Before we speak about the Japanese driver, let's hear from Marcus Sata.
Marcus, that much on your first race today and now your chance to move up the grid for the final?
Yeah, it was a difficult first race, struggled a bit with the grip, but I think now it's a new chance and we'll just give everything. Just have to be a bit careful that nothing happens considering tomorrow's race 3. So, yeah.
Thank you.
How cool is the helmet design of the Norwegian, the third Norwegian to race for Van Amersfoort Racing in the Italian F.4 Championship, following in the footsteps of now F2 driver Martinius Stensoner and the 2019 champion, now NTT IndyCar driver Dennis Hauger. Marcus Sata starts on the 6th row of the grid for this, the third race here this weekend. We're about to hear from an exciting young rookie, Niccolo Macagnani, who makes his debut in the championship for BVM Racing. He's speaking to Laura.
So, Niccolo, a good debut weekend so far in the Italian Formula 4. So what are you hoping for this race?
I think for this race, I'm hoping to have a good start, be clean for the first laps, find your position, and then I think we can start pushing and find some position at towards the race, and maybe at the end we can get a good result.
Good luck. Thank you.
Representing the Ferrari Driver Academy, Niccolo Macagnani. It is not his first Formula 4 race. He's already won in the Asian Series at Sepang in Malaysia. But his first run in the Italian Series, not a bad start to his Italian F4 career. He starts a row behind Dante Vinci on the 7th row of the grid. There is Gabriel Gomez. If you're just joining us, Ken Nakamura has been crowned champion, courtesy of 2 podiums earlier in the day. Gabriel Gomez will start from pole position. He lapped fastest yesterday, 24 hours ago, almost to the minute, when he took pole position with a 1:35.577, rolled to a stop heartbreakingly on the formation lap before the start of race 2 this morning. Alternator failure, but gets his chance at redemption. Sebastian Weldon has won both of his first 2 races as the 1-minute board goes up. So Sebastian virtually guaranteed pole position for race 4 tomorrow. But then there is the actual series final at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, the final race of the 12th season of the world's most competitive junior car racing series, the Italian F4 Championship, presented by WSK Promotion, together with the Automobile Club of Italy. The first round was held here over the first weekend of May at Misano, and this is the series final as the 30-second board goes up. We take a look at the grid. It is O Menino do Brasil. Gabriel still fighting for second in the series. Salim Hanna, Newman Chi, and Luca Samalisto. Andrea Dupé, P6 this morning for the French rookie, Alexander Bondarev. Kabir Anurag, watch the Singaporean off the start, and Reno Francot van der Netherlands for PHM Racing out of grid 8. Olivieri, one of 5 Italians in the field. Marcus Sata, we just heard from the Norwegian. He splits the RSGP drivers, Alexander Savinkov and the Australian Dante Vinci. Jan Kohler for us, racing from the Czech Republic. We just heard from Niccolo Macagnani from Rome. Bart Harrison, fresh off a podium in the GB3 Series, starting alongside Elia Weiss. Andrea Kostic, Ludovico Busso, the Sicilian, Andy Consani, Teo Schroff from Argentina. Ari Barnsell, newly crowned GB4 champion, Oscar Repetto, the New Zealander. Then it's Bader Al-Salati from Qatar, the Israeli Guy Albag. Great run in the first race this morning. The driver from Tel Aviv, starting ahead of David Walter. Antonio Erigo in the second Techno race competition car. Nicolas Cortez, the Mexican, and then yet another German, Phil Collins Strange. Cornelia Olkutska, one of 4 drivers fighting for the women's trophy. Car 91 starts out of grid 29. Coming through Tramonto Corner, which literally translates as Sunset Corner, and that magnificent shot explains exactly why it has been titled thus. This is the Misano Adriatic Circuit. Marco Simoncelli, home of the Italian MotoGP. Reno Francotte going through. So Gabriel Gomez, no problem this time. He has dropped to third in the championship. Kin Nakamura Berta as Alexander Savinkov. He had a wild ride this morning. He's on track in car 52. Kin Nakamura Berta, 322 points. Cannot be beaten for the title. Sebastian Weldon, 225. And Gomez on pole position. As you look at markers, check out the helmet from the Norwegian. Gomez, 216 points. Salim Hanna, 148. Newman Chi, 130. And Max Popov, 6th in the series on 129 points. Olivieri, 7th in the series. There is the Italian going through. 48 drivers represented in the 2025 Italian F4 Championship. 5 Italians, the top of which is Emanuele Olivieri. But it is Gabriel Gomez, the Brazilian, for the German team, US Racing, here in Italy on pole position. Gabriel, car 78, pulls up to grid 1, starting alongside. Here's Salim Hanna. So the two South Americans lock out the front row of the grid. O menino do Florianopolis, as Badir Al-Salati makes his way onto the grid. Gomez. Heartbreak this morning, the only slight consolation. Look at those Pirelli tyres. They have not done a single racing lap. The sun sets here at Misano. The green flag flies at the back of the grid. The South Americans on the front row. Gomez to the right of your screen. Salim to the left. We race. Perfect launch, perfect getaway from Gabriel Gomez, who immediately checks the right side mirror. Salim Hanna slots into second place. O menino do Brasil with redemption takes the race lead. No problem for the South Americans. They go 1-2. It's the Brazilian in P1. Shortcutting through the centre part of the circuit, one of the Cram drivers and the RHGP driver as Lucas Samalisto makes his way through. There is Reno Francotte fighting with Kabir Anurag. Samalisto on the outside will get the engine RPM as they go down into turn 8, into La Quercia. There's Elia Weiss. With a good start is one of multiple German drivers in the field. The second of the Cram Motorsport drivers. Look at Kabir Anurag fighting with Dante Vinci as the field go down into turn 8, the PHM drivers, Reno Francotte and David Cosma Christopher. Lock up there from Andrea Dupe, who was on the rookie podium this morning. Out into the gravel, one of the VAR drivers. It may well have been Dante Vinci. It was. The Australian is dropping right down the order as he rejoins down at the bottom of the field. Anurag on the inside of the PHM driver. There is Francotte. Dive down the inside from Kabir. Bart Harrison just behind. May well take the both of them. Kabir goes on through. Nicely done by the Singaporean, the Alpine F1 Academy junior driver. Or is Busso going through? Repeto. Vinci has dropped down to 20th place. Gomez leads just from Salim Hanna and Newman Chi. Back to Samalisto, Bondarev, Dupé. Savinkov just behind Jan Koller, who's gone around down into turn 1. We'll try and bring you a replay of what has happened. Slight contact there may well be also between the two Van Amersfoort Racing teammates as well. Andrea Kostic. As we see Jan Koller gets back underway. Nicolo Maccagnani for the BVM Racing team down into pit lane for a new front wing. And the Italian team with the Italian driver send their young Ferrari Driver Academy pilot back out on circuit, way down in 29th place. Jan Koller has got back underway. It was Oscar Repetto, incidentally, who was going straight in the opening stages. This just a few moments ago, Jan Kohler, he was helped by one of the R-Race GP drivers. May well have been, in fact, we won't name it because there's multiple R-Race GP drivers on track as Gabriel Gomez will get back to the fight for the lead. Needless to say, Jan Kohler turned around but has rejoined in 28th place. So the South American still 1-2. Gomez in P1 but being attacked by both the two rookies for the Prema Racing team. Luca in the background. This is a good start from Lucas Samalisto. Just ahead of Bondarev, Dupé, Anurag, Olivieri, Gabriel Gomez. Across the line, the gap is 0.2 of a second. Salim Hanna, the Colombian, behind the Brazilian. And then Newman Chi, a podium this morning in the first race for the Monza outright race winner. Samalisto has a look at the back of car 28. Gomez in P1, but under pressure. Here's Bondarev in the background. Andrea Dupé, Anurag, Olivieri, Bart Harrison storming up into position 9 on the podium in British Formula 3, or GB3, as I more correctly should say, down into turn 8. In reality, we know exactly what it is. Formula 3 spec. Great result 6 days ago for Bart Harrison on the podium at Donington. As we see Oscar Repetto down into pit lane for a new front left. Down the back straight, Gabriel Gomez gives the slipstream to Salim Hanna. The sun soon sets here at Misano as they come out of the sunset corner. This is Lucas Samalisto, who was the fastest driver on circuit in race 1 this morning, came home in P4. As you look at Anurag having to defend from the Italian, Emanuele Olivieri, who dives down the inside. Anurag closes the door. This just a few moments ago into the gravel, but just rejoining Teo Schropp, the Argentine. The gravel trap not only defining track limits perfectly, but slowing the car, arresting it nicely. Teo Schropp has joined back on circuit, but down in 26th position as Luca launches down the inside. Samalisto has a big look at the back of Newman Chi for position 3, but the problem is he's got the Williams F1 Academy junior driver right behind in the form of the Ukrainian Alexander Bondarev. Andrea Dupé in car 5. 4 drivers for the team from Vicenza, the Prema Racing team inside the top 6, but Gabriel Gomez, us racing in position 1. He started from pole position, was under attack from Salim Hanna, but now finds some momentum. As you look at Newman go on through in P3, Samalisto, Bondarev, Dupé, Anurag, Olivieri, Bart Harrison, Andrea Kostic, now inside the top 10 is the Serbian, also for us racing. There is Oscar Repetto. He will get the blue flags. The New Zealander, Italian, Swedish driver from Monaco, still circulating, but potentially going a lap down. They need every point because only out of 44 drivers, the top 36 go through to tomorrow morning's final race. And then, of course, the replay of the race, which was cancelled, red flagged at Imola, a 14-car start line crash earlier in the year. That will be the final race, the grid from that very event. As you look at Bondarev from Andrea Dupé, the grid set from Imola, 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, the final race of the 2025 season. Gomez now 7/10 of a second clear of Salim Hanna. This is Luca on screen, car 7. So us racing 1 and 4, the red and white machines in between as Caballera. Also for the us racing team. So they've got 3 drivers inside the top 7 now, including P1, with Gabriel Gomez still fighting for second place in the championship. This is Samalisto. You see the Finn work the wheel. Oscar Repetto does do the right thing. The blue flag and the Cram Motorsport driver pulls to the left side of the circuit. In car 16, 29 drivers taking the start. They're still on circuit, needing every point. A DNF is unacceptable because there are 8 drivers who will miss tomorrow morning's final. 44 drivers, as we see Anurag still defending from Olivieri. Now the Italian cuts back on the inside. They'll go wheel to wheel down the back straight. through Courtevaugnac, through the flat-out 230-kilometre-an-hour curve. Samalisto does likewise. He gets the toe. Anorak holding off Olivieri. Samalisto on the back of Newman Chi, who's in position 3, slides and defends at the same time. Samalisto, fastest on track, set the fastest lap of the race this morning. He's in P4, one step off the podium. His teammate, Gabriel Gomez, still fighting for the title of Vice Champion of the Italian Series for 2025. He leads as Samalisto goes wide, as does Anurag in the background, which will give Olivieri in car 68 the opportunity to pass the Singaporean. Also was on the grid 6 days ago at Donington, making his Formula 3 Spec debut in the GB3 Series. Anurag, Olivieri, and Bart Harrison, the Englishman. There's the Serbian. Kostic, Frankot, Sata, Konsani, Savinkov. Andy going through the Mercedes AMG Junior, the French driver in the Italian Series. Still the South Americans 1 and 2. The field go down into Tramonto Sunset Corner. This is turn 10. Going on to the back straight, Alexander Bondarev, the Williams Junior, former WSK kart racing champion, former European champion, outright race winner at Imola before the summer break. Rookie year for the Ukrainian. As we see Samalisto gets a really good run here on the back of Newman Chi. Watch the Chinese driver defend to the inside. Luca on the outside will try and cut back. Nice defense from Newman Chi. And Samalisto now under attack from Alexander Bondarev. The red and white cars are absolutely ubiquitous inside the top 5. Top 6, in fact, but Gomez still holds the race lead for us racing by 0.7 of a second. Back to Hannah. Newman Chi. Luca has a look down the inside into turn 1. Sends it to Samalisto. Newman Chi runs wide, gives the Finn some space. Holds on to P3. Watch Bondarev in the background. Locks up the left front, now tries the outside. Needs to be careful because here comes Bondi, the Williams Academy driver. Now gets the run on the back of the Finn for us racing. Newman Chi incredibly still holds P3. The race leader at the bottom left of your screen, Gomez, Hannah, and then the fight for the final step of the podium. Luca goes in very deep into La Huerta. Coming out of turn 8, up into Sunset Corner, up into Tramonto. Tight line, defends, locks up, sends it down the inside. Will be slow on the exit, but he's got track position. Now let's see the response from Newman Chi and Bondarev and Andrea Dupé as well. Samalisto goes through P3 provisionally. He's in the podium positions at the moment. Right behind him, a trio of cars from Vicenza. The red and white machines, Bondarev, Chi, and Andrea Dupé. The first of which is the Ukrainian, now defending from Newman, who drops back and goes wide. Anurag is right there as well. The Singaporean won't need to be asked twice to attack. Very close between the two teammates. And now over the ripple strip, running wide, Andrea Dupé. Anurag on the outside, Olivieri, Harrison. That's Bart. The Englishman, contact between Olivieri. Front right into left rear, turns the Singaporean around. Kabir Anurag, who was fighting inside the top 5. Contact with the Italian, who has continued on. Anurag will drop down the order though. Incredibly, the car is still straight. We'll try and get a replay of what happened and here it is, just a few moments ago. On the outside, tried to hold the line. Slight contact with Olivieri. Bart Harrison slips on by and takes the both of them. As does Andrea Kostic. Frankot. Olivieri still in P10. Anurag has dropped down to 23rd position. Bart Harrison now inside the top 10. Car 77 in position 7 for the Jensen Motorsport team. Gomez continues to lead. The gap goes out to 1 second to Salim Hannah. And Samalisto on the podium in third place, halfway through the third race of the weekend. This is Luca, Bondarev, Dupé, Chi, and Bart Harrison. We are being told that Phil Strange has been given the mechanical defect flag as Reno Francot in 69, just ahead of Olivieri. This is Kostic in car 4 behind Bart Harrison. Deep under brakes goes Bart. GB3 podium 6 days ago, as we say, at Donington. Almost certainly this is his final race in the Italian F.4 Championship. Kabir Anurag down into pit lane, and the Singaporean has retired. So Gomez with the race lead still. This is Olivieri, still trying to attack. We go into the final 10 minutes of the race. This is Reno Francot. Still inside the top 10. This is top 4, Kabir Anurag. He is thus far the sole retirement from this, the third of 5 races here. Andrea Kostic has had a great 2025. Inside the top 10 at the moment is the Serbian behind Bart Harrison. Kostic in P8. Olivieri still in the race in P10 from Sata Konsani. Savinkov, Weiss. Elia from Aus, Munchen, I should say. One of multiple drivers from Germany in the field. But Gabriel Gomez still holds the race lead from Salim Hanna. This is Kostic. Reno Francot, who took victory in the E4, the Euro Series of Paul Ricard in the south of France. But the Serbian in P8 holds off the Dutchman for the moment. His teammate, Luca Samalisto, goes on through. Still the race lead held by the South Americans. It is the Brazilian from the Colombian, both former WSK champions. We've spoken about in the past or during the season, Salim Hanna winning the WSK Open Cup as he goes very wide into the grass coming onto the straight. 2022 for the Ricky Flynn Motorsport team. A fantastic victory in OK Junior. And now he runs second outright and top rookie in race 3, the final round of the Italian F4 Championship. And yes, goes fastest with a 1:36.425. The gap, 0.6 of a second. Gomez, who was heartbreakingly denied a start in the second race this morning. Alternator failure on the formation lap. Started from pole position for this race. He's got the race lead now from Salim Hanna. And now the sun starting to set as they go into sunset, Tramonto corner. The shadows getting longer. Gomez with the race lead, 0.6 of a second. This is lap 11. Gomez, Samalisto going through. Salim Hanna Fastest lap of the race, but has just lost a 1/10 of a second that time round. Of course, still fighting for vice champion title. Sebastian Weldon looking good is the American after taking his 5th victory this morning. Gomez across the line. Starts lap 12 in position 1. Hanna, Samalisto, Luca in P3. Bondrev, Dupé, and once again Luca goes fastest, his 2nd fastest lap of the day with a 36.379. At the moment, the Finn on the podium. Wide in the background, Andrea Kostic still holding on to position 8 from Reno Francot. Olivieri still inside the top 10 from Marcos Sata. Down into La Quercia, the 2 leaders, the 2 South Americans, and then the Finn from opposite ends of the planet. They go 1, 2, 3. Bondarev, Ukrainian, Andrea Dupé on the rookie podium once again. Ahead of his Prema Racing teammate Newman Chi in P6. Bart Harrison, 77 for Gensa Motorsport in position 7. A lock up into turn 10 from Newman Chi in car 28 as they race down the back straight on lap 12, race 3 of 5. Here this weekend, the final round of the 2025 Italian F.4 Championship, presented by WSK Promotion together with the Automobile Club of Italy. If you're just joining us, Kin Nakamura Berta coming home in P3 this morning in the 2nd race of 5 this weekend, has been crowned the 12th ever champion. The first driver from Japan to win the world's most competitive junior car racing series. Sebastian Weldon winning races 1 and 2. Gomez out on the formation lap of race 2 this morning with alternator failure, but he leads after starting from pole position as the shadows get longer here at Circuito Marco Simoncelli, simply known as Misano on Italy's Adriatic coast. Francot goes through from the top Italian, Emanuele Olivieri. Harrison is actually closing up to the back of not only Newman Chi, but Andrea Dupé as well. This is Francot from Olivieri. Now Gomez responds, gets some revenge. This super talented Brazilian, 3rd in the World Kart Racing Championships for the CRG racing team 2 seasons ago. A season in the Spanish F4 series. Formula Winter Series champion. Trying to at least finish as P2, runner-up vice champion of the Italian series. So after a frantic start, the field go down the back straight. Just the sole retirement. Kabir Anurag, that will make it tough for the Singaporean. Will be relying on DNFs and points just to make it through to tomorrow morning's final. 36 of the original 44 drivers to race in the final. There's Bart Harrison in the background, closing in on the back of Newman Chi. Back to Kostic, Francot, Olivieri. Still inside the top 10 is the top Italian. Chi on the back of Andrea Dupé, P5 in car 5 and 3rd in the rookie race. The driver from France, now living in Milan in the north of Italy, Salim with a 36.367. Hasn't given up hope of taking a victory here. Leading the rookie championship race as well. Here's the Colombian, a look down the inside though. Andrea Dupé, P5. Excellent weekend thus far for the young French driver. Salim Hanna closes in slightly on Gabriel Gomez. And now the fight between the 2 Prema teammates. Watch Bart Harrison in the background. He's closing in on the back of Newman Chi. The English Gensa Motorsport driver is catching both the Prema Racing rookies. On your screen, Dupé, car 5. Chi in 28. He was running P3 earlier in the race, but Bart Harrison is catching the both of them. Gomez now puts the lead back out to 0.8 of a second. Hanna, Samalisto currently on the podium. Bondarev, and then the fight between the 2 teammates, Dupé and Newman Chi. Bart Harrison desperate to drag himself into this battle as well. Here comes the Brit, here comes the Englishman. For the Swiss Gensa Motorsport team, Bart Harrison has closed right up onto the back of Andrea Dupé. The Frenchman has been trying to get by his Chinese Prema Racing teammate, unaware that the driver on your screen, Bart Harrison, has caught him. The Englishman is flying down into turn one. The gap just 0.3 of a second. Gomez still holding 0.6 of a second. There is Kostic in the background, still ahead of Francot and Olivieri. Gomez still ahead of Hanna. This is Newman Chi going through. Down into La Quercia, Gomez, Hanna, they disappear at the bottom of your screen as Salim locks up. Samalisto, Bondarev, Newman Chi and Andrea Dupé. Gomez gets on the power as they go up the back straight. On lap 15, we've had clean races thus far this weekend. No safety car interventions. And boy, that is something of a relief to say after some very hectic races thus far in the 12th season of the Italian F4 Championship. Bondarev, a step off the podium at the moment, is the Williams junior driver. Salim Hanna, still behind Gomez. Samalisto, car 7 for Us Racing. They're currently first and third. So Gabriel Gomez is about to start the penultimate lap of the race. 25 minutes plus 1 lap, just crosses the line with over 30 seconds remaining. And puts in a 36.261. He took pole position yesterday with a 135.577. The driver from Florianopolis on Brazil's eastern coast, with absolutely minimal budget, but he is a world-class talent. We saw that in the past decade or so in WSK World Karting with the CRG racing team. Has missed out on the Italian Championship as he works the wheel down into turn 8. Ki Nakamura Berta is the champion. A performance from the Brazilian for the German team here in Italy, who will get the last lap board next time round. Gap 0.818 of a second. Good drive regardless from Salim Hanna, even if he cannot get by his fellow South American. He is the first rookie. The second rookie is Bondarev in P4 and Newman Chi. But Gabriel Gomez about to start his last lap of the race. His yellow flag being displayed around the circuit. I believe Ari Bansel may have had an incident off screen as his Us Racing teammate gets the last lap board. Gabriel Gomez, almost a second clear of Salim Hanna. Victory in the third race at the second round of the championship at Vallelunga, north of the eternal city of Rome. Heartbreak this morning with alternator failure on the formation lap. It's been an impressive, if somewhat tough, 2025. Of course, took both pole positions at Imola before the summer break. Now goes down into Tramonto for the final time. The gap stays at 0.8 of a second. Prema drivers, they're currently in second with Hanna, fourth with Bondarev, fifth with Chi, sixth with Dupé, but Us Racing 1 and 3. Onto the back straight. Salim Hanna has closed up slightly, surely too far back to attack. He won't lose it from here. Gabriel Gomez goes through Cortavone into turn 14, into the Caro curves for the final time. Salim Hanna, though, has a look. Nothing between the two South Americans. Goes wide. Gabriel Gomez, though, accelerates. Heartbreak this morning, but he'll take victory here as the sun sets here on Italy's Adriatic coast. The checkered flag waves. Victory. O menino do Brasil, the boy from Brazil, Gabriel Gomez, takes the win in race 3 here this afternoon under a setting sun on Italy's Adriatic coast. Gomez for Us Racing takes the win. The South Americans 1-2. Salim in second and Luca Samalisto across the line in third place. Some consolation for the driver from Florianopolis, who celebrated his 18th birthday on the Thursday of the Barcelona round. Still, the fight for second in the championship remains on. He took pole position yesterday. Victories to Sebastian Weldon in races 1 and 2 this morning. He moved to second in the series. But now Gabriel Gomez has jumped back in front. Ki Nakamura Berta is the champion for 2025. But we are still to decide the title of vice champion of the Italian series here this weekend at Misano. Gabriel Gomez takes the win. The gap was only half a second at the race end as Salim Hanna did close up. Andy Consani going through, came home in position 12. This is the race winner. Trying to get every possible bit of pickup on those tyres as he makes his way back to the pits. Just drive it through the grass, Gabri. That'll do the job. If only George did that at Spa not so long ago. Not much debris on the circuit though. He is picking up most of it. All that he can, even sucking it into the side pods. His teammate just behind, Us Racing 1-3. Luca Samalisto, credit to the Finn, who comes home on the podium in third place. Gabriel Gomez takes victory in race 3. Salim Hanna home in second place. The South Americans 1-2. And Luca Samalisto for Us Racing 1 and 3. Alexander Bondarev second in the rookie race from Newmanchi. Another great drive from Andrea Dupe. Bart Harrison position 7 in car 77 from Andrea Kostic, Rino Francot, and the top Italian Emanuele Olivieri, who survived that contact with Kabir Anurag, the Singaporean, the sole retirement. Sata Konsani, Savinkov, David Walter, unseen on screen, but comes home 14th from Bader Al-Solati, who's had an excellent 2025. Vinci Busso Cortez, Gael Bag, position 19, Kola, Elia Weiss, Teo Schropp, who was in the gravel earlier on, Erigo Olkutska, Strange, Bansel, and Maccagnani, of course, who made that pit stop. Repeto does finish a lap down the sole retirement, Kabir Anurag. Ki Nakamura Berta is the champion, but with that victory, Gabriel Gomez has now jumped back into second place ahead of Sebastian Weldon. The Brazilian down into pit lane. He wins race 3 here at Misano. Obrigado, Gabri. He takes victory. And the long line of Brazilian racing drivers. Sì, ha fatto già. Yes, the long line of Brazilian racing drivers continues. Remember the name Gabriel Gomez. Hopefully has found a drive for next year. His teammate, Luca Samalisto, car 7, comes home in P3. Salim Hanna, El Colombiano, home in second place. And the top rookie, O Menino do Brasil, Gabriel Gomez from Florianopolis, takes victory in A versus C. Race 3 in front of his parents. That was nice to see just a few moments ago. Gabriel Gomez wins here and he's down in pit lane, about to speak with Laura Cola.
from the bottom to the top on the same day, a well-deserved victory, maybe a small consolation from a championship perspective.
Yeah, I mean, after this morning was a bit sad with the technical issue in the first race. Was a bit unexpected for me, for the team, for everyone. So we worked really well during the whole week. I think we showed every session we have a great pace, and yesterday quali with a really good pace during the quali, and then today in the race as well. Unfortunately, we couldn't make the first race, but I think now the team deserved the results a lot because they worked really hard during the whole week to find a good car, and then I feel bad for everyone, for me and for the team with the problem this morning. But now we showed in the track again we can fight there for the wins. We have the pace, and I'm really happy with this. So now it will be a little bit more difficult in the final. We're starting a bit behind, but we will try everything.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The highlights of race 3, Gabriel Gomez on pole position, got a perfect getaway, and the South Americans who started on the front row of the grid went 1-2 down into the S's in the opening stages of the third of 5 races here this weekend. Good start from Lucas Samalisto, splitting the 4 Prema Racing Team drivers again. Kabir Anorag with a storming start as Lucas Samalisto going on through. Gomez under pressure early from Salim Hanna, but withstood the challenge from the Colombian as the field raced out of La Huerta into Sunset Corner. Young Kohler being helped around by one of the RSGP drivers. Samalisto going on through, took him 3 attempts, but the Finn finally up into 4th place and then P3. The send, the lock-up from Luca. This was the move that put the Finn up onto the podium. 3 Prema Racing drivers just behind. Then this, Olivieri and Kabir Anorag making contact. The Singaporean did retire. Olivieri home critically in P10. But Gabriel Gomez, galera do Brasil, assistindo essa vitória é para vocês. Gabriel Gomez vence aqui em Italy. Parabéns, Gabriel Gomez. Essa para vocês, galera do Brasil. So much support. Great to have you watching on from South America. His teammate from Finland, the other end of the earth, Lucas Samalisto, comes home in 3rd place. Salim, the Colombian, Hannah Hernandez in P2 and with the rookie victory. Consolation, as you heard, after missing race 2. But Gabriel Gomez wins race 3 for the US Racing Team, who go 1-3 here this afternoon. Mr. Tiro Sessa, representing the Automobile Club of Italy, presenting a well-deserved 3rd place trophy to Luca, 2nd to Salim, who honestly must have got another inch taller since Barcelona. And Gabriel Gomez from Florianopolis vence aqui in Italy. A national anthem we've heard at football stadiums around the world and on Formula One Grand Prix circuits. We hear it once again, the national anthem of Brazil for the victory of Gabriel Gomez. It's the 3rd of 5 races here this weekend. The final tomorrow morning, 36 of the original 44 drivers, and then the series final at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Gabriel Gomez, some consolation. He wins race 3 at Misano. He'll be back to start for the final at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. Thanks for your company. Great to have you here at Misano. We'll see you for the championship final tomorrow, live from here at Misano.